If every one of us can create content, it means, or just an article, it means that all these articles have no value.
It's a good question.
SEO is changing, but at the end of the day, you have a company that wants to sell a product.
Risks everywhere. How are you planning to manage it?
People seek a lot of information in these areas, and those websites can provide a lot of that information.
What do you need to do with your website to rank in ChatGPT? So everyone was telling that SEO will go dead, but it's still alive.
Are we still going to be interesting?
Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Anton Voroniuk and I'm happy to have you in our GENAI Revolution Podcast. Today I have amazing guest. It's Tom Amitay. Tom is the founder of Entail AI. Tom, hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks you. Thanks for having me.
Tom, tell us about Entail AI. Why Entail and what AI you have in your engine?
So Entail AI is all about helping websites convert more traffic. These days, everybody speaks about changes in search and so on, and acquisition costs are on the rise. So it's more difficult to send traffic to websites, and we help websites do more with the traffic that they receive. We also have another solution to help them receive more traffic from organic sources, but it's mostly about doing more with your traffic in terms of conversion.
Yeah. If you talk about the Entail, can you give us a little bit more context? How many users do you have? Maybe IRR, how big it is?
So I don't know if I want to share all the numbers. I wasn't expecting that question, but I'll tell you that we are working with large companies. For example, unicorn companies like Papaya Global, Bright Data, companies at this scale. And we are a team of about 40 people, based in South Africa, Israel, and Serbia. Very good team, like them very much. And and also, you didn't mention, I didn't answer that question about where we use AI in the system. So we help websites optimize basically all of their pages for conversion. And the main problem is that websites have a lot of pages. Every page has a lot of links into it, a lot of clickable elements. And what happens is you have pretty much an infinite number of potential user journeys that can lead up to conversion. So we use AI to analyze all those user journeys and generate calls to actions and add them to the pages, A/B test them at scale across the entire site, and funnel users towards conversion.
What is your typical ICP? It's news websites, big blogs, or what type of businesses?
It's a good question. It's mostly websites with a lot of pages. It can be a lot of content pages, a lot of product pages, and so on. Very often it's websites that are in informational niches. So for example, fashion is not an informational niche.
Definitely.
Websites that are more in health, I gave Papaya Global as an example, it's HR tech. So a lot of people seek a lot of information in these areas, and those websites can provide a lot of that information. And people seeking information are usually somewhere in their journey towards finding a solution to a challenge. And the company's product can often be the solution. So we help the companies lead those users from that informational stage, awareness stage, discovery, and so on, all the way towards conversion.
I definitely understand how it works, but for our audience who can't maybe imagine, can you explain a little bit more? We have some content page, how you help with AI to bring audience that will convert.
Yeah, so it can be any type of page, pretty much. Usually what happens is companies use A/B test tools to optimize for conversion, but they do it on a very small number of pages or a very small number of journeys or funnels, you could say. Maybe they optimize their homepage or their pricing page and so on. But at the end of the day, like I said, there's companies that have websites that have hundreds, if not thousands of pages. And users click on many different elements on those pages, and it's very difficult to track and to understand how to create an uplift, how to optimize those pages. So what we do is we add a script to the website that tracks clicks and page views, okay, and understands the user journey towards conversion, understand the contribution of every page towards conversion, and then the same script can also go into the pages, generate calls to action, new ones. Add them to those pages and test if it improves the click-through rate, if it improves the conversion rate on those pages. Then that's what we use AI for, to analyze the pages, to understand where conversion happens, the contribution of each page, and to generate new calls to actions or to replace existing ones in a way that improves eventually the bottom line.
So improve me if I'm not right. You have, on the one hand, you have predictive AI. You use it to understand where it's the best place to put the widget. And you have Gen AI, which helps to generate these widgets, yes?
Yeah, it's pretty much like that. You need to analyze the website. again, in one way, every website is slightly different. So you need to understand what is a conversion. You know, on a B2B site, it can be book a demo, get a quote, contact us, whatever. Okay, B2C site, it pretty much buy now or something like that. So you need to understand what is a conversion. Often websites have more than one conversion goal. Okay, it can be different types of demos based on different types of products that you have. It can be book a demo, sign up, start free, etc. Select different pricing plans and so on. B2C sites, it can be purchasing different types of products. Okay, sure. Every product has a different price. So how do you optimize a website? Let's take a B2C example. That's easy. A website that sells 100 different products, every product with a different price, and eventually you want to increase the revenue of the website. So let's say we don't control the traffic. We're not, and you have traffic come to the site, okay? And you want to increase the revenue per visitor. So each visitor on the website will spend more money. So you need to send them. So it's not just improving conversion rate, because you can improve conversion rate on a product that's worth $10 instead of on a product that's worth $100, for example, okay? So you need to analyze the site, understand where conversion happens, or conversions, different types of conversions. What's the value of every conversion, okay? And then you need to analyze each page on the website, understand the context, understand the intent that the user has when it reaches that page. What is the next logical step in the user journey? Okay, where do they want to go? What do they want to? What problem are they trying to solve? Okay, so it's not just adding a buy now button or like just the product. Sure. Often websites just focus on the bottom funnel call to action. Okay, so it's a kind of like a buy now call to action, pretty much a book a demo. But if somebody is at the stage where they just look, they haven't even defined their problem yet. Okay, so we have a website that sells custom orthotics. Okay. So let's say you have foot pain. You don't know that it's because you have plantar fasciitis, for example. I know this term just because of this website, all right? Yeah, sure. But you may not know that this is the problem that you have. So you start with foot pain. What is the next step after foot pain? So there's diagnosis, symptoms, etc., and then you reach the point where you speak about treatment. So what type of treatments? There's surgery. I'm not the expert on that, okay? But you reach a point where orthotics are a viable solution or another type of solution for that problem, okay? So you need to lead the user from I have foot pain to diagnosis, etc., to treatment before they're ready to buy. Okay, it's clear. Okay, so you can't just start with buy now, okay? You have to take it.
You have to prepare.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. If you talk about the AI in your career, when it started, so you have right now in Entail both predictive analytics and GENAI, when you started using AI in your projects?
So, I mean, how to say, when we started Entail, we were focused mostly on the content side of just helping websites to create content that brings the traffic. We still do that, okay? Now it's a bit broader because the new traffic sources. ChatGPT is also a traffic source.
ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini,
etc. So they're also traffic sources now, and you need to see how you can also get traffic from these sources. So we started with first of all mapping, using AI to map all the relevant topics for a website. Okay, these are like targets that you want to conquer in a way. Okay,
like clustering.
It's a bit different than just speaking about clusters. It's understanding. Let's take again the orthotics example. Okay, so somebody who needs custom orthotics for plantar fasciitis is a person that's ready to buy. Okay, it's called like high intent, low brand preference. They're ready to buy. But a person searching again for at the top of the funnel. Okay, the person searching for why do my feet hurt? Okay. That person may end up buying custom orthotics, but they're very far, okay? And there's all the range, all the spectrum between them. So what we do is we map all of those topics based on verticals that are relevant to the site, based on what funnel stage each topic is at, okay? By doing that, you can understand how the content should be built on the website. So it's not just clustering, it's basically looking at content as with the lens of basically looking at ROI, okay, which is something that's a bit of
on the mix of SEO and conversion rate optimization.
Exactly, which is not. Sometimes it feels like it's a bit like water and oil. Like many SEOs think about that, but that's not the main concern, because I think the main reason is because SEO is so many different facets and so on. So most SEOs don't focus on this specifically. Okay, it's very difficult to measure. Okay, and to quantify. But that's our approach. So that's where it started. And then when ChatGPT came out, we were like, I mean, I was quite obsessed with, like, from the very first moment, I was obsessed with when Google would start doing like the AI overviews that they have today. It was quite clear that they were going to
Right now you have them?
Right now we have them. It's still unclear. It's not very clear exactly where it's going. It's definitely going. Okay, it's not. It's like the genie is out of the box. It's not stopping. Okay, and it's going to affect many more things, not just search and so on. But then we were starting to look at how we can innovate around that, and we tried different products, different solutions, different options, and then we saw more and more that the conversion rate optimization part was really where was the right direction for us, because with many of our customers we have a situation where we create content for them, we bring traffic to their site, and then we have revenue share for all the sales that we bring in. So we were optimizing our pages for conversion anyway, because then we get.
But you had like agency additionally to this software, or it was always
exactly just we have the software, the SaaS part, and we have the agency part providing services as well. It also gives the business some kind of stability. It there's many advantages. I mean, these are different types of businesses, different different DNA. But with the agency part, you can easily start new services or test new things, and then develop the technology for them, because that's my personal belief. And I think that's how you do marketing automation, is you start manual, you start with proving a use case. And then once you see that you've proven it after you tested, usually when you test, you fail, I mean, it's not a failure. You do an experiment and you see the results. So often
you have hypothesis test.
Exactly. So often the tests that you do end up not providing the results that you wanted, And so the agency part lets you also test many things. It's not like
but
our
agency part is still alive, yeah?
Yeah, yes, sure.
And how big it is?
It's like half the company, pretty much. Yeah.
So 20 people, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so in this part, it's not like the clients are guinea pigs or anything like that. But you can often see many things much faster than you see in the technology side, It's maybe counterintuitive, but the technology takes longer. Even today with AI, everything is much faster, but it takes longer than just trying something very quickly without having to develop. So the agency side lets you like try many different things.
But agency is SEO agency, or like more broad digital marketing agency?
So it's mostly around the SEO and content, okay? These parts, now it's more AIO, not just SEO. Yeah, mostly around that.
Tell us about AIO. So do you have already clients who are paying for this, and how it works?
I think it's very, very similar to SEO. Okay, it's pretty much the same thing. It just evolved a little bit. When I say it's the same thing, there are certain signals that the algorithm, and it's still an algorithm, it's very similar to search, okay? And I'll speak in a sec about what I think the main differences are. But let's say it's almost exactly like search, okay? And you need to provide the signals for the algorithm to rank you, to show your result in the answer that it provides or in the search results. So it's pretty much the same thing. The main difference for me, I think, is that a lot of the informational searches that, like on a regular Google search, would provide blue links, would provide results. And now those informational searches, and they can be more complex, they can be like longer tail, like more specific. And they yield AI overview results, or you can start them immediately on ChatGPT or GENAI or Perplexity and so on. So websites lose some of this traffic, especially some kind of like how-to and so on. Like, I mean, and it's not different, by the way, if you look at just search for a weather forecast. We're in Lisbon, so weather forecast for Lisbon for tomorrow. Okay. Google that. The entire page on your phone is just Google. You never click almost
down.
You never click on those results. Okay. Before Google did it, people clicked on the weather forecast. Okay. Now they don't. So it's the same thing. They're replacing some of the queries with this type of results. And on Google, there's different queries. Search for a celebrity, you'll get images. Search for a movie star, you get pictures and the movies that you participated in, and so on. So Google has different types of results for different types of searches, which is fine. And now people also do searches in different places. So it's not just Google, it's also ChatGPT, and it's also TikTok, and so on. Okay. But at the end of the day, websites create content, let's say informational content or content that's a bit upper funnel. They created content not because this content necessarily converts sales. It's because this content targets their audience at an earlier stage, helps bring this audience in, and also helps the algorithms understand what the website is about. Okay, and so this part it changed, but it's still the same in a way. So what I mean is websites or businesses still need to create that content so that eventually, let's again use the orthotics example. Eventually, when somebody is saying, starting a chat with any AI, and they say, okay, my feet hurt, I don't know why, and then you start a conversation and so on, and then at the end of this conversation, you reach the same point. Here are exercises. Here are a few treatments. You may consider consult with your doctor about surgery, or you may want to buy orthotics. Which ones? These are the best ones. So at the end of the day, the customers still need to buy pretty much the same solutions, right? And you want your product to be there. And in order for your product to be there, you still need to create that content. So eventually, the AI will take you to this. Will show your product or your service over there. Because otherwise, how will it know that you're relevant? So there's other signals. It's not just about the content. Okay, there's other signals, and so you have to master all of those signals. And I think one of the biggest changes today is, and it's been the trend for many years, is that it's much more difficult to cheat the AI. Okay, you could cheat. There's many ways like black hat SEO to cheat Google and so on. Build links, etc.
Because Google is like an old-fashioned system, which was founded in 1999.
It's not that old-fashioned. Still, AI is built like as a layer on top of it. Yeah. So, they do index the entire internet. They do have the best results and so on. But AI now can more easily look at other signals, social media, brand mentions, and so on.
Double check.
Yeah. So this is still SEO. It's a bit broader now. Okay. And there's tools now showing you, that your competitors appear in these searches on ChatGPT because they were mentioned on Forbes or on G2 or whatever, So you go in, it's just like SEO. It's the same thing. You need to go and address.
Let's summarize to our audience who just first time touched to IIO. What do you need to do with your website to rank in ChatGPT? For example, we have CRM system. We want to be, by the request, best CRM there in ChatGPT, in Perplexity, no matter. What is our algorithm to do this? So
I would say you have to, first of all, look at the data. Okay, it's a broad question. Okay, it really depends on what type of website, what's your competition, etc., etc. Okay, there's a lot of data that goes there, but you need to analyze the data, check which of your competitors are ranking there or are being mentioned there. And then there's tools that now show you that they've been mentioned there because that. So let's say ChatGPT mentioned HubSpot CRM, whatever. Because HubSpot has 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have a checklist.
What type of tools do you use for this analysis? I've thought Crunch AI, but I didn't test it. So it's like something between like Hrefs for measuring position and like brand mentions for tonality. What tools do you use? So
Hrefs definitely. The leading SEO tools are now going more and more into this, and there's also startups that are doing this now. I wonder what's going to happen there because I would expect Hrefs. We expect the big leaders, like Hrefs and SEMrush, to pretty much go heavily into this, which I think they are. And they have the market share, and they also have the data. They have I think Hrefs and SEMrush have insane
huge amount
data mining capabilities, right? So they're basically positioned very well to take the market there. But let's see what startups maybe they'll have to purchase, acquire a company.
Yeah, it is evolutionizing really fast, and Ahrefs is doing pretty well job. We were creating a course about AI in marketing for our Udemy audience, and Ahrefs has like 15 new tools just this year with AI features, and it's amazing. If you talk about links, what type of links do you need to get to be ranked in IAO?
So again, it really differs. You can see sometimes it's based on G2, for example, if you're a SaaS product, if you're a B2C product. So it really depends. It's very similar to the way you would do kind of like link analysis for link building.
So you are going to the top and checking the top. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you would do. But now I think there's more factors that are more meaningful than what you had before, when it was just like pure search, let's call it.
How do you see the future of your business? You was doing SEO. I'm doing SEO for 17 years. I started when I was student in 2008, and from this moment each year you have like the people who are barring SEO. The SEO will die, it's dead, etc. But we are like long time in business. We understand that SEO is still working. You helped guys to get SEO traffic. Your service Entail, you get a higher conversion rate for this SEO traffic. Right now you have AI on all sides. So Google is implementing AI, ChatGPT is taking Google audience, risks everywhere. How are you planning to manage it?
So that's what we did basically since ChatGPT came out. We're trying to understand what are the changes that are going to come. I mean, I think we haven't seen anything from AI yet. I think it's just the tip of the iceberg, and it's going to disrupt much more than
it's just
than marketing and so on. It's like we can have probably everybody's talking about it, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think in terms of SEO, like I said, SEO is changing. But at the end of the day, you have a company that wants to sell a product.
Yeah.
Okay. And they see their competitor on ChatGPT or on Google AI overviews or on Google regular search or on Gemini or in Perplexity and so on. Yeah, exactly. And they see their competitors there, right? And they want to be there too. So what do?
They will try to find
they use Ahrefs or SEMrush or one of these tools to understand what are the signals that their competitors have. I mean, that help them rank on those, that help them be mentioned on those tools, and they go after creating those signals as well. So isn't that SEO?
Yeah, it's the question that I have the next one about in my list of questions. It's about clicks. You can get just the answer inside the ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. Or you can have a link. For example, we are selling courses both on Udemy and Coursera, and when I analyzed through the similar web traffic from ChatGPT to these resources, Coursera has like 20x more traffic from ChatGPT than Udemy. And it's the question why. It's the question because of the most trustworthy, but if you will check the Ahrefs metrics, etc., you can't understand it. What do you think about the traffic? So all businesses is about traffic online. How to get that traffic from ChatGPT? How to make, what must be the type of request to get the traffic through the link? Not just to reproceed your content inside ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think it's a different type of traffic in a way, or it's like I said before, you'll get more the lower funnel traffic, people that are more, more mature or more ready to buy your product.
Okay.
Closer to that point, maybe a bit less of informational traffic. And still the jury is out on that because, you have this kind of like model collapse theory where if let's say if AI answers all the questions and you don't send traffic to websites, so websites stop creating content.
Yeah.
And websites creating content, eventually websites have been creating content for Google more than anything else. For many people, Google used to be the internet. I mean, it's the internet now. We can say used to be the internet.
And
so it's very
we
similar.
have the moving paradigm for many people. ChatGPT is already the internet.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's good for us as marketers because now businesses want to be on Google and on ChatGPT. So there's another a new job. Okay. But if in the same way, think about Instagram or TikTok. If you use the AI to generate all the content on Instagram and TikTok, so we don't need people to create that content anymore because you create content. You take many people take pictures for Instagram. Okay, they take pictures, and the only place where they use those pictures is on Instagram.
Yep.
So they do that for Instagram. Okay, they can say they do it for themselves, for their friends, for their followers, but they do it, let's say, on that platform. So they do it on that platform. Okay, and with AI now, we can probably generate more beautiful pictures than what people take. Okay, but if Instagram started generating all those pictures with AI instead of people taking them, will it still work in the same way?
It's a good question.
I'm not sure. And what will they do if people stop creating content there? And so they can probably create things that are, I mean, I'm vegan, okay? And I see a lot of videos of maybe you've seen them on Instagram, videos of, I just saw one now, like of an elephant basically taking teeth out of people's mouth, and they sell the teeth like kind of like we do.
I think that is personal targeting. Yeah.
No, many people tell me they saw it, like people do with ivory and so on. So and you create it with AI, and it's super realistic and it's powerful, you know. So you can create nice things with AI, you know, and you can probably create like better pictures with AI as well. So at what point can you replace what people do over there? So I'm just saying that to as a comparison to what's happening, to what will happen to those AI, all the Gen AI chats and so on, if websites stop create content. It's either they kind of like collapse because they need that content, or they go to social media and get the information from there. How reliable is it? You know, how much fake news and so on.
So website is the same question, how many fake news, but it's...
that's where reputation and branding come in. I mean, the people that, I mean, the information that you believe in, I mean, you believe information mostly because of the person or the brand it came out of, okay? So there's a news channel or a news website that you trust, or a person that you follow, and you trust what they say. So it has to do a lot with brand. And again, you know, brand is becoming more and more important. And to have a good brand, you have to have a lot of signals. So SEO is becoming is merging more and more into branding as well. Maybe not the part of like how we look and all that, you know, more in the technical, like what are the signals that you need to have in order to have a good brand.
What do you think about trends? What trends are waiting for SEO?
Trends?
Yeah, definitely trends.
In what sense?
In the direct sense, everything is moving. What is your view on the future?
So I think, like I said, I mean, as long as we have businesses, I mean, I think AI is going to affect much more than what we're just discussing here. You know, I mean, it's going to write more and more code on its own. It's going to be able to print things.
Yeah.
There's going to be robotics. So there's going to be a huge acceleration. Okay. So it's going to affect many, many things. I think our biggest worry should not be search. I think there's other things that are more exciting, worrying, you know, and so on. But in terms of SEO and so on, I think there's, as long as businesses sell products, and as long as there are new places to be, just a simple thing, you know, how long did it take businesses to say we want to be on TikTok, for example? You know, you can hear what's his name, Gary Vaynerchuk. You know, Gary V. He speaks about, you know, how it was on newspaper and then radio and then TV and then the internet and always and businesses always, it took them time to understand. Okay, we want to be there now. Of course, we want to be on TikTok, but not that many years ago, people said TikTok is just for young kids. Who cares? You know. And so now TikTok is a new marketing channel. Instagram is a marketing channel. Facebook is still a very important marketing channel. YouTube. So now ChatGPT, Perplexity, and so on are new marketing channels, and you want to be there as well. And again, the important thing about those channels is that often when they send traffic to you, it's traffic that is very ready. Okay, it's warm traffic. They got to you after they went through all the discovery process, all the research process on ChatGPT, and they come to you when they're ready to buy that product often. So you want to have your product there. So how do you do that? Because you want to have your product there because your competitor is there if you're not there. Okay. So how do you do that? And that's the new job of the SEOs now.
Let's talk about how AI changed your SEO job. So how AI transformed your processes you are doing SEO as SEO agency.
So first of all, it's a good question. First of all, in terms of how we don't do keyword research anymore. We just have this software that maps all the topics that are relevant to the website and scores them based on conversion potential.
Well, what software do you use?
So it's our own software.
Okay.
We call it like Entail Strategy. That software that we developed, like I said, it maps all the topics that are relevant to the website and basically positions them where they are, in which vertical they are, and which funnel stage. Okay. And then, so that's one thing, and AI really sped up the development of this product, and it saves us tons of time, and it's much more accurate. Okay, that's one area. Another area is, of course, in content creation. We don't use AI so much to generate content like you would assume, because if you can generate it with AI, then why do it in the first place? Just ask AI. So we do a lot of content with experts. It's really, I mean, when ChatGPT came out, I mean, I actually had like discussions and even arguments with clients. I told them, content now is going to be more difficult and going to be more expensive, because if every one of us can create content, it means, or just an article, it means that all these articles have no value. Okay, just like printing money. If everyone can print money, money has no value. So what has value now is gold. So because it's scarce. So how do you create better content so it still has value? So you need to create better content. How do you do that? It's more expensive. It's more difficult. And so it depends what type of content. But if you're in an informational space, okay, you need to create content that shows more expertise, more personal experience, and so on. Okay. In like the example I gave on Instagram with those videos with AI, that's a nice way to use AI to create content that has value. It's because the story is interesting, because of how they change places between the elephant and the person, and who's taking whose teeth, So that's a smart way to create content. Okay. And so you need to use it to create something unique. It's still about the principles have not changed. Okay. You have to be unique. You have to provide value. Okay. And so we use AI, just like in this video, in editing and so on. Okay. It can speed up a lot of processes, but at the end of the day, you have to look at the quality of the product. So it still has value. Okay.
What else? You use your own automation. You told that you try don't use AI for writing, but where AI do you use in SEO processes?
So, like I said, everything that has to do with topic selection, everything that has to do with generating briefs and so on for the content, and everything that has to do with editing as well. And then there's a bunch of processes that go into the CRO, the conversion rate optimization that we do, in terms of understanding what every page is about, what is the intent, what is the context of every section on the page, understanding what products the website sells, and how we can connect from that section all the way to the product. Sometimes it's a direct link, sometimes it goes through like 5 different pages. Okay, so we use AI for that. Okay, so it's not just one process that runs there. It's multiple processes. Okay, to understand what the website is about, to classify every type of page, whether it's a content page, product page, feature page, etc., and understand the context of each one of these pages and how they relate.
And if you talk about AI first principle, does it work in your company or not? And do you try to solve each task with AI first?
We are implementing more and more AI processes. I mean, I can tell you, this week alone, we had a few meetings with outside advisors or people from other companies just to see what they do and how they use AI. And some of our friends at work, they watch what's going on, like the latest advancements from Figma, for example, and what we can do with that to speed up how we work on our website, how we design different features for our product. Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing shift.
Yeah.
I need like a basic website yesterday. I've done it with Lovable for 10 minutes, and I'm not technical guy at all. So
yeah. So yeah, I think the meeting they had today, our team, I think it was about Lovable. I mean, I couldn't join the meeting, but yeah, I mean, it's moving very quickly. I mean, companies have no choice now but to stay up to date with those tools because they just save a lot of time. So just even having a person who's dedicated. I have a friend, I think that's what he does now in his company. He's kind of like chief AI officer, and he's just looking for how they can use AI all the time to speed up processes. I mean, if it's a large company, it can save you a lot of time and money. You know what I mean? And so that's part of it. Like everything is evolving very, very quickly.
How do you use AI in your personal life?
In my personal life, I mean, I use the chat like everyone else, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
well, what tools do you use? What ChatGPT is clear.
I usually use Gemini.
Yeah, okay.
I like Google in that way.
You don't like ChatGPT, yeah?
No, I have nothing against it. You know, I just I like the information that Google has in terms of search, and then it's built on top of that. So often the information is, I feel, is like more accurate. But it depends for what. Usually I don't do very complex things with it. The team does more complex things with it. I mean, I don't so much. I mean, I use it now, my emails and so on, you know, to help write emails. In my personal life, I don't know how much I use it in my personal life so much right now. I mean, my brother did take a few pictures of us when we were young and animated them in a way which is, it's cool. It changes the way you look a bit. So
I use it a lot with kids. So
yeah. So that was very cool. I don't know if I have any other example right now, but yeah.
What suggestions do you have for the audience who want to start using AI for the SEO approach, CRO approach? What are your recommendations, like checklist from Tom to start using AI in SEO and CRO?
In SEO, the checklist. I think they need to start with the research to understand. That's basic SEO, you know, like just where the traffic is at, you know, where their competitors get traffic from, where they could get traffic from, where people search for relevant. I mean, where there are relevant searches, whether it's on Google, like before it was Google and Bing was the small one, and now you have all these AI tools. So you want to understand where people search for things, okay? And then you want to start understanding what are all the signals that those businesses provide to ChatGPT, etc., in order for them to appear there. And then you need to start working on getting the same signals. It's very much the same thing like SEO has always been. It's more similar to trying to rank for the product searches as opposed to like content and so on.
Okay.
But it's always been like that, you know, also with Google.
Yeah, definitely. If you always start from research.
Yeah, if you're like an online casino and you want to rank for play poker, okay, you would create a lot of content on your blog and so on, so that you would rank for play poker, okay. But the traffic that the content brought was not very important to you, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
You really wanted to rank for play poker.
Yeah, you need to do the right keywords. Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Eventually, when somebody asks a question about playing poker and everything and so on, you wanna be there, okay? You want to be there on Perplexity, for example. I know if people ask these questions on Perplexity, okay, but as an example, you want to be there you want your product to be there. So it's very similar to what has been until now. And so if I ask you, if I had a poker brand and I wanted to be on ChatGPT, when people ask questions about, I don't know, poker strategy, for example, what would I need to do in order to be there? And that's exactly SEO, okay? That you need to check who's ranking there, for which searches they rank there, what are the signals that they provide, okay? And that's exactly SEO. Maybe slightly different than how it used to be until now, because you're looking at a few other signals that you weren't looking where it was just Google.
At least you check if you ranked in Bing. If previously it didn't care. Right now, if you want to be in ChatGPT, you need to be in Bing. So it's the question which everyone is asking. Tom, I'm really thankful for your time. It was really amazing. Guys, if you have any questions, ask to Tom in comments. It's a part of GENAI Revolution. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Tom, and have a great day.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Guys, see you in the next GENAI Revolution podcast.